What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka All Fires. Now, credit where credit is due. We had a brand new industry insider, or rather should I say an anonymous Twitter scoopster under the handle of MacWL, recently say a lot about what Marvel Studios plan to do, expanding their Phase 6 schedule. Now, again, this was all before last week's bombshell announcement that Marvel and Disney were actually delaying Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars for 7 months, but alongside that announcement didn't come an expanded Phase 6, rather a contraction of Marvel release dates, where on the official Disney release calendar, untitled Marvel movies were consistently changed to untitled Disney films or removed from the calendar altogether. Well, as it appears though, there is at least one mystery Marvel movie that not only survived the shakeup, but now has been added to the schedule for a release in mid-2027 between the two Avengers films. We have the release date for you and the new iteration of the official Disney theatrical release schedule. We're going to break down what this film most likely is according to some industry insider reports and what it means now for the context of Marvel Studios Phase 6 actually having an additional film other than Spider-Man to lead up to the Avengers Secret Wars storyline. We're breaking it all down, but first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel. That's all we do. Thanks to everyone who's been subscribing lately. We are growing again at a breakneck pace, and if you haven't already, I would just kindly invite you to hit that subscribe button. It's the #1 thing you can do to support us as content creators, plus it'll enter you for the giveaways. Stick around at the end of the video, we get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so after the fallout from that huge breaking announcement that Disney was shaking up its theatrical slate through the next couple of years, here's the brand new list of 2026 and 2027 release dates, and you will clearly notice there on July 23rd, 2027, in between Avengers Doomsday but before Avengers Secret Wars, there is an official unlisted Marvel movie. Now, circling back to what we mentioned in the prologue about this brand new Twitter scoopster claiming they were going to expand Phase 6, that wasn't all he said. He was very specific about them adding one film in between the two Avengers films, this a week before they actually delayed them, and said that that film was going to be Doctor Strange 3. Time Runs Out was one of the names that was given, as well as Incursions of Insanity as well. Now, in that coverage video, we debunked that because I mentioned it would have to start filming right now to make it out in between the two Avengers films at the end of next year, and there just wasn't time for Marvel Studios to develop a Doctor Strange 3 script unless they'd been secretly doing so, but let's face it, that news would have hit the rumor mills and the Hollywood trades with whomever was writing it. So there was very obviously no movement on pre-development for Doctor Strange 3 that could even lead to it filming this year, no way for it to come out next. But if this untitled Marvel film is now releasing in July of 2027, there is plenty of time for them literally to start today on Doctor Strange 3, have enough pre-development, a script written, and actually shoot it next year so that it could be released in 2027. So our only debunk of that news now actually has been debunked itself, and if there is a mystery movie coming out between the two Avengers films, Doctor Strange 3 is at the absolute top of the list, regardless of what it ends up being called, Time Runs Out, etc., to be that one last film outside of Spider-Man Brand New Day that's included with the two Avengers films to end the Multiverse saga. Now, it's also worth mentioning that another detail this source indicated is that Marvel Studios might actually break Avengers Secret Wars into two parts, and that those two parts might not even be called Avengers Secret Wars Part 1 and Part 2. So essentially, we could have what is a third Avengers title to end the Multiverse saga. There are probably some who are going to claim that this could be that release date, but that is so unlikely that A, Marvel and Disney would be willing to break up the Avengers Secret Wars money into two parts for the box office, or B, them releasing 3 Avengers films what's in one calendar year between December 2027 and December 2026, you'd get 3 Avengers movies. That doesn't make sense from the business side at all, and I can't see them breaking Avengers Secret Wars into 2 parts. And look, the argument works both ways. You could say if it's just one movie, but you break it into 2 parts, you're getting 2 full box office release, twice as many tickets, but also it sort of takes away from the event movie of it all, takes away from the hype, the rewatchability. I would think more likely than not, they would not be willing to do this. I have been wrong in the past though, so put an asterisk by this, but more likely this is Time Runs Out, Doctor Strange 3. Now, there are some other notables that are worth mentioning as possibilities. The first of which is the only Marvel movie we know confirmed to be in pre-development outside of the X-Men reboot, which we'll talk about in just a second, which is Black Panther 3. that would also give Ryan Coogler a chance to write for the brand new young adult Prince T'Challa in order to set him up for an even more epic storyline in Avengers Secret Wars. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with the 2015 Jonathan Hickman Secret Wars, T'Challa was a main protagonist in that. In fact, at the end of the story, he's the one who leads the main charge. More details on that in a separate video. But it's also a real possibility outside of the importance of the T'Challa character himself that Marvel Studios just wants to give Ryan Coogler another Marvel movie before they get to Avengers Secret Wars. I think that that's at least worth considering outside of Doctor Strange 3. The other real considerable is Thor 5, where we've had reports for almost 2 years that this is greenlit at Marvel Studios from almost every industry insider, although I would still think that that would be better served for a story after Avengers Secret Wars and keeping Chris Hemsworth Thor around in the MCU, not another OG Avenger for them to kill off. Now, I do see some people saying that this is most likely the X-Men reboot, and we do know that at least at one point, the X-Men reboot was slated to come out immediately after Avengers Secret Wars. That was slated for May 2027. Well, now that it's been moved to December, could it be that Marvel Studios has left the X-Men reboot on mid-2027 in July to put it out before the end of Secret Wars? And the answer to that is absolutely not. We've heard enough times from industry insiders that they are not introducing any brand new X-Men before that X-Men reboot. And just think about it logically. Are they really going to introduce a brand new group of X-Men right before we get to Avengers Secret Wars? So we'll only know those characters for about 6 months in the context of the MCU. Meanwhile, characters like Thor and Doctor Strange, actors and characters who have been in the Multiverse Saga since the Infinity Saga and in the MCU for 10 plus years, and all of a sudden we'll be focusing on a brand new Cyclops that we just met earlier in the year. There's no way that they're doing that. They're crafting the story around the characters they know they've got. That is going to be the previous Fox iteration of the X-Men. We're not getting the new MCU X-Men until after Secret Wars. So whatever this movie is, it's not the X-Men reboot. Expect that to be kicked out to at the earliest 2028 and truly maybe even 2029. But Marvel Studios at this point has so much to focus on with the characters that they've got, and so for any chance of this being a new introduction and Midnight Suns, a Blade film, you can just go ahead and rest assured it's none of that. It is 1000% one of these storylines that they left off in the Multiverse Saga that they're going to use to explain it. Still, the job of doing that and being a director and having to write a story that's wedged into the Multiverse Saga between the two Avengers films and the lead up to Avengers Secret Wars has got to be an absolutely daunting task, and I have no idea who in the world they're going to hire to write Doctor Strange 3 if that's what the film ends up being. But you guys let me know all your thoughts down below. Who would you have write the script, and who do you want to see direct? Do you want to see Sam Raimi back for Doctor Strange 3, or maybe them go in a different direction? I am all ears as always. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we are still giving away PlayStation 5s at the channel, as well as tickets when MCU movies drop, etc. If you want to be entered to win for any of the other future giveaways here at the channel, all the same rules will always apply. Hit the subscribe button because you need to be a subscriber, then leave a comment down below, and because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here, live with my voice and the winning comments shown on screen. So please be safe and vigilant on my channel, really any channel wherever they do giveaways, and if you should ever get a spam comment, just report it directly to YouTube. They'll delete those accounts rather fast. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on, and as always, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name is Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, wherever you listen to original music under the name All Fires. And while I sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.